and soon we'll have a bridge where we can use the telepresence.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Hello there.
Hi.
So, how many grades are you all there?
We're all grade 9.
Grade 9. Well, congratulations. I was hoping you'd all be dressed up in your costumes. But
So, hi, Mr. Suzuki. Thank you for calling us. It's really great. And how are you?
I'm very good, and I'm very proud of you. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for joining so many others in taking part in our contest here. And I love the idea that some people are thinking beyond our own selves to the other creatures on the planet that are being affected by climate change. I think that's absolutely wonderful. You know, that it's not just us that are going to be affected, it's the rest of life on Earth. And so it was a great idea and a great submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we have a few questions for you.
Fire away.
Okay, the first one is, what is your opinion on Copenhagen?
Well, for me, I'm glad that what came out of it came out of it. That is nothing. Canada's position there was clear right from the start. Canada did not want a decision or an agreement that had very hard reduction targets with binding demands that we fulfill those targets. Canada did not want to play that role. And I was worried that we would come up with a half-hearted agreement that wasn't strong enough just to appease countries like Canada. So now the big question is, can we go to the next one? These are meetings that take place every year. The next one's coming up. Do you know when it is, Panos?
I don't know the next
I
meeting,
think
but
around
deadline.
December. And we've got to hope that that will come up with something that people can get on board. From my standpoint, I think it's very, very difficult to get 190 countries or however many there are all to agree to something like this. So we've got to get started, and the exciting thing is, even though we have a federal government that does not want to do anything about reducing emissions, at the provincial and at the municipal level, all kinds of things are going on, and that's very exciting. From Vancouver, we have a mayor that wants to make Vancouver the greenest city in the world by 2020. We have wonderful things going on in Regina, in Toronto, in Halifax. I mean, across the country, municipalities are acting. We have provinces. British Columbia has a carbon tax. In Alberta, you see that even though Alberta is the heart of tar sands and the oil industry, we have the biggest wind farms in southern Alberta. We have all kinds of groups fighting for wilderness. Well, I mean, what about Jasper? I mean, you got one of the greatest areas going, and a lot of environmentalists. We've got Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec. They're all really leading the way, and I think that's where the opportunities lie. Sorry, that was a long answer to your question.
Okay, that's good. And we were wondering, how do you keep a positive attitude while dealing with all these global issues?
Well, a couple of things. One is that I try to spend as much time with my grandchildren as I can, because all of this is not about me. I'm too old. I mean, you know, whatever happens is not going to affect me very much. But you and my grandchildren are going to be very heavily impacted. So I try to spend as much time with them, and that's what gives me the strength to say, we got to keep fighting to try to get a better world. But the other thing is, go out in nature, and nature is so powerful. It's what gives us peace and a sense of our home and where we belong. And when you experience nature, you come back again ready to fight, I think, harder for it. But you can't let yourself get worn down and say, oh, it's too late. We can't afford to do that.
Maybe one more question, you guys?
Any other questions? Where are the boys in your group?
There's no boys. This is our whole class. Okay, so what do you think is most pressing environment issue?
Well, I'm asked that all the time, and You know, we have multiple, I call them ecological tsunamis, are hitting us now. The oceans, which cover 70% of the earth, are in terrible shape. We're polluting air, water, and soil at a terrible rate. Honeybees are disappearing. If pollination stops, we're in deep trouble. I mean, there are many, many different issues. But I think the biggest challenge is the human brain. It's who do we think we are? Do we think we're so important that we're going to take over the whole planet and try to take everything out of the earth that we can without thinking about our children and grandchildren? We've got to change our mindset. I think we've got to think much more about the future for our grandchildren. And then we've got to see a lot of the stuff that we think we need isn't important. Let me end this call by saying, when my big hero was my father, and when he was 85, he was dying. He knew he was dying. He wasn't in pain and he wasn't afraid of dying. I moved in to live with him the last month to take care of him. And it was a wonderful time. We had happy times and we cried and laughed. But in all of that month that I spent with him, he never once said, gee, I'm glad I saved a lot of money. I'm glad I have a big house, or I had a closet full of fancy clothes, or what a wonderful car I had in 1995. All we talked about were family, our friends, and our neighbors, and the things that we did together. And he kept saying over and over again, David, I am a rich man. I die a rich man. He didn't have any money at all, but his wealth was in people and the things that we did together. And that's what we have to do, is what is it that makes us happy? What is it that makes us really rich? And it's not about stuff. It's about people that we love and care about. So I think the challenge is in our brains.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. See ya.
Bye.